Assalamu alaikum and welcome again to Learn English with Abdel Ghani. Today lesson inshallah will be about reported speech اللي كتعني الكلام المنقول. So today I'm going to teach you actually very simple reported speech things. If you don't know what the reported speech is, welcome to the confusing word, then to the confusing reported speech. But don't worry, it's gonna be a very easy lesson inshallah. So reported speech, maybe when you studied in your class, maybe the teacher or whoever may be called the indirect speech. It is the same, don't worry. Reported speech the same time is reported speech, indirect speech. Okay? Well, why or how do we use reported speech? علاش ولا كيفاش كنستعملوا reported speech? We use it to report or to write down what somebody has said. Okay? So, if somebody has told you something, this is going to be a quote. And the quote means you copy the person's words exactly. You have to be really careful not to change his words. Okay. Reported speech اللي كيعني عندما نريد قول كلام منقول عن شخص آخر. يعني إلا قال لنا شي واحد شي حاجة وبغينا نقولوا هاد الحاجة هادي ولا هاد الهضرة هادي لواحد آخر. يعني هاد الهضرة هادي كتسمى كووت، داكشي اللي بغينا ننقلو لواحد آخر تتسمى كووت في لونجلي، اللي كتعني نقل كلام شخص كما هو وبدون تحريف في الكلام. يعني ما خصك تحرف ما والو، نقول كلام لواحد آخر كما هو. Okay? So reported speech, you don't need to worry actually because it is usually only used, for writing. So we don't really have to worry about the crazy word when we speak. Likely. So now let's see how it is working with the structure. The structure is a little different depending on whether you want to transform a statement, question, or request. Okay? So, but first, we're going to use or to see what should be reported. And later on, inshallah, in our lesson, we will see deeply tense changes, modals, and so on. And also time expression and places too. Let's focus on that. So now we'll see how to report a statement. So when transforming a statement, check whether you have to change pronouns, present tense verb, third person singular, place and time expression, and tenses, back shift. يعني هذه reporting a statement. إلا عندك جملة ولا كلام مثلا كيفاش ولا شنو هو اللي خاصك تركز عليه مزيان. يعني إلا كان عندك واحد الكلام وقال لك دير ليه report, the first thing you have to see or to focus on is to see the pronouns, present tense verbs, third person, singular. Here, the third person singular in the present tense is, he, she, and it. We add, s to the verb. For example, if I say I play, so I'm not going to to add s at the end because we do it only for the third person singular. But if I say he plays, she plays, and it plays. The next one, places. So places in the direct speech, sometimes it can be here, and then you have to report it to there, for example. The same thing with time expression. If you have, for example, in a direct speech, next year, you can say the following year, tomorrow, the following day, or the next day. Okay? Tenses هما الأزمنة. يعني إلا بغيت دير reporting ضروري tense زمن تتبدل من report speech من direct speech report speech. هنا عندنا back shift عندنا back shift و no back shift. Back shift you obliged you must, to change the tense from the direct speech to the reported speech. While if you have no backshift, means you can report but keeping, the same tense. If it is present, for example, in the direct speech, you keep it, present in the reported speech. But with backshift, if it is, for example, we can say simple present, in the reported speech, you need to change it to the simple past. Okay? So let's see an example. So if I have a direct speech, for example, I speak English, he said. Someone said that I speak English. أنا كان هذا بالانجلي. Okay? So if we want to report this, we'd like to say he said that he spoke English. So as I said, as I mentioned before, always be careful, to change the pronoun and then the tense. So the pronoun, the subject pronoun in the direct speech is I, and then we change the to, to he. He, as he is talking about himself. Okay? And then, speak in the present, we change the to the past. Okay? So reporting questions. So when transforming questions, check whether you have to change pronouns, present tense verbs, place on time expressions, tenses again in backshift, and also note that you have to transform the question into indirect question, or you can use the interrogative or if ولا whether. يعني هنا بيورينا كيفاش نديرو ريبورتين لواحد question. عطاونا question في direct speech وبغاونا نديرو لها report. Okay? Report نردوها reported speech. The first thing again you have to focus on is to change the pronouns. Then you have to be careful with the third person singular in the present, he, she and it, to add s to the verb. And then place, to change the place, as I said before, here becomes there, time expression tomorrow, the next day. Tenses, again you have to change it, from a tense to another one, Also note that you have to transform the question into a direct question. هنا بيقولوا لنا باللي إلا بدي ريبورت لواحد الكويشن راه ممكن أنك تدير ريبورت by using WH question. يمكن لك تستعمل ديك WH question اللي عطيك في الدايركت مثلا what, you can use it in the reported speech, but this called indirect question, سؤال غير مباشر. Okay? Otherwise we can use if ولا whether. So we'll see an example. With interrogative, if I have a direct speech, why don't you speak English? Someone, ask the other one to why not, to speak English. So in here we can report by, with interrogative, I mean with WH, we can use this one, okay, in the reported speech. So here is the report. He asked me why I didn't speak English. This is what we call, with interrogative. So we used the WH question, given in the direct speech. Sorry. Also, you have to be careful, to the pronoun. Here it is you, while in the reported speech is I. Also the verb from the present to the past. So now we'll see without interrogative means with if or whether. So for example, do you speak English? This is a question, and if we want, to report this, we can use if or whether without interrogative. Okay? So he asked me whether I spoke English. ولا he asked me if I spoke English. So as you see in here, we used whether or if, to report a question. And, both ways are, correct. Reporting request. when transforming requests, check whether you have to change pronouns, place and time expressions. هذا دابا طلب request هو طلب يعني ممكن أن مثلا يكون يعطيكم طلب مثلا في direct speech and then they will ask you, to report that. So the thing you have to focus on again is the pronouns, place and time expression, to change these things. Okay, example: Ali speak English. Ali speak English. So someone ordered to Ali to speak English. قال لي ضرب l'anglais. Okay, so this is a request. Then if you want to report this, we could say he told Ali to speak English. This is easy, yeah? So we only added to between the noun and the verb, in the request. So just, focus on adding to while they are, asking you, to report a request. Okay? So now, we're going to see how it is going with tense changes when using reported speech. So normally the tense in reported speech is one tense back in time from the tense in direct speech. يعني بالنسبة إلى عطاونا هنا بيقول لك أودي بالنسبة للتنس بالنسبة للزمن يعني خاصك ترجع إلى عطاوك مثلا البريزنت بترجع خطوة لورا بتشوف شنو هو اللي مقبل من البريزنت. اوكي عندنا البريزنت قبلو الباست عندنا الباست قبلو الباست بيرفكت. اوكي so it's like that. So you always need to go like one tense back in time from the direct speech. So here actually we're going through present, past and future to change from a direct speech to a reported speech. في tenses هنا ربنا نهضروا على المضارع اللي هو البريزنت، بدنا نهضروا على الباست وبدنا نهضروا على الفيوتشر. We are going to use all the tenses here to report from a direct speech to a reported speech. Okay, so simple present: I eat lunch. I eat lunch. This is we can say a present simple. I eat lunch, she said. Okay, this is something she does every day. So if we want to report or to write down this, I will use reported speech, of course. So what I'm going to do is to change the verb from the simple present to the simple past. So I would like to say she said that she ate lunch. So as you see in here, we changed the verb from the simple present to the simple past. As I said before in here, we took one tense back in the direct speech. So in here we have the simple present, then in the report we used the past. So in this sentence the present simple is eat. It is in the simple, while ate is the past simple. So simple present changes to past simple in the reported speech. Of course you have to be careful with the the pronoun as well, as we mentioned before, always. If I have a present continuous example, this means something the person is doing now. So I'm reading a book, he said. Okay, so we have here to change this to the past continuous, from the present continuous to past continuous. So if we have here, I'm reading, yeah, all we have to do is to make this past continuous and to change it to was reading. Okay, so we here the present continuous and past continuous changes the verb from we can say the present from the present to the past. So we have here and then we changed the verb, the same verb to be, to the past, to change from present continuous to past continuous. So moving back to the past, we'll start by the present perfect. We have been to Spain. They told me. Okay? We have been to Spain. They told me. So if we want to report this, we must, change it to the past perfect. From the present perfect to the past, perfect. And would say, they told me that they had been to Spain. Okay? So present perfect here changes to the past perfect. So of course we changed, the pronoun, and also we changed it from have plus pp, mean verb in the past participle, to had plus pp. Okay? So present perfect to past perfect. So the next one, past simple. I took, a selfie. He said. This is a verb. In this verb we have the verb in the past simple. Took. So past simple we have to change it again, to the past perfect. So the sentence would be, he said that he had taken a selfie. He said that he had taken a selfie. Okay? So in here, if we see, we have the verb, as I said, in the past, and then we change it to the past perfect. And the form for the past perfect is had plus pp. You have to memorize this carefully. Of course, always the pronoun from I to he. Here we made it he because as he is talking about himself, he said that he had taken a selfie. So and the past perfect, if we have a past perfect, I had had a shower. He mentioned I had had a shower. أنا دوشت. Okay? So here we have to change it to the past perfect. Yes, it can be possible. So from the past perfect to the past perfect means you keep it like it is. If you have a sentence in the direct speech in which it is in the past perfect, keep it in the reported speech in the past perfect. No changes in the grammar. So in here you don't need to change the grammar, but you just need to focus on the pronoun, and if you have places or time expressions, so you need to change this, a part of that. So if you have here, if you have the in a sentence you have the present perfect or past simple or past perfect, all of these are going to be changed to past perfect. I mean had plus pp or had plus verb in past participle. So wherever, memorize this place carefully, wherever you have present perfect or past simple or past perfect, past simple or past perfect, you change it to the past perfect in the reported speech. Okay, so all you have to do is to memorize this. This is easy actually. You just need to memorize the form of the each one. Present perfect, past perfect. Simple past is easy, past perfect is easy as well. Okay, so moving on to the future. So we have two future tenses in English. First we have future simple and future be going to. This is our last lesson. It was about the future. Okay, so let's start by simple future example. I will go, Muhammad said. I will go, Muhammad said. So all we're going to do here is to change the verb, or the modal, to would. Okay, so the sentence will be Muhammad said that he would go. So in the simple future example, if you have a future in a direct speech and they are asking you to report this, you only need to change well to would, and of course the pronoun from I to he I have I in here. It's not always I. It can be, whatever pronoun. It can be you, he, she, it, they, and we. But in here, in these examples, we have I, as it is very easy, to use. Future be going to. So be going to. Let's see. They are going to play football, she said. To make this in reported speech, we need to change are to were or was. Okay, so here is it would be like that. She said that you were going to play football. So in here we changed the verb are, in the present, to were. This is verb to be in the present, and this is verb to be in the past. So we changed are to were because we have the pronoun they. Do you know when to use were and when to use was? I'll show you. So if it is he, she, I, we use was. For example, if we have he is going to play football, here would like to say, she said that he was going to play. She was, I was. Okay, and then if it is they, we use were, as in this example we have they, and then we used in here were. I hope this is clear. We have seen this actually in the past, in the simple past. So now we'll see how it is working with modals in reported speech. Okay, so modals are verbs and can be used for the obligation, permission, all of this. So modal verbs may change. Okay, so let's see can. For example, we all know can. This is for permission. Direct speech, I can do it. If I have a sentence that has this can, we can report it to could. Instead of keeping can, we change it to could. Okay, so we'd like to say he said he could do it. Of course, the pronoun always. I colored every part, like the pronoun by the same color, also the verb or the modal by the same color to see the changes. Okay, may, this is for permission. May I go out? He wanted to know. شي واحد بغى قال لك واش نقدر نخرج برا. So to report a direct speech that has may, you have to write down he wanted to know if he might go out. So from might to might. Okay, and also the pronoun, it is changed from I to he. Okay, must, obligation. Direct speech, she must apply for the job. He said she must apply for the job. خاصها بتفعيلات الخدمة هذه. Okay, so if you want to report this, would like to say he said that she must or had to apply for the job. So from here you can keep this, as you see, you can keep must. If you have a direct speech with must, you can keep it to must, or you can change it to had, and then you can say he said that she must to apply for the job, or he said that she had to apply for the job. Okay, next one. Well, they will call you, she said. They will call you. So if we want to report this, it would be she said that they would call you. So we have seen this in the future, before, just before, we have seen how to change will to would. So now we'll see how it is working with places, demonstratives, and time expression. So of course, if you have a time expression in the direct speech, it must be changed in the reported speech. So today becomes that day. So if you have, for example, a sentence that has today into direct speech, you need to change that today to that day. Okay, so it becomes that day. Now becomes then. Now becomes then. Yesterday becomes the day before. Yesterday, the day before. And of course, it keeps the same, meaning. It doesn't change, it keeps the same thing. If it is yesterday, means the day before. It is the same. Okay? Days ago, days before. So ago means, it can be before as well. Last week, the week before. So in here, so we changed, for example, last week, it can be changed, to the week before. Next year will be the following year. And then tomorrow you can say the next day or the following day. Places. So now we'll see how it is working with places, from the direct speech to reported speech. So if I have here in the reported speech, you can change it to there, from here to there. Okay, keep this in mind, please. Demonstratives. So this, that, this, that, these, those, these, those. So this one, this is some demonstratives, to change from the direct speech to to the reported speech. Exercise. So let's focus on let's practice our lesson on this exercise. Write the sentences in reported speech, change pronouns and time expressions where necessary. So نطلبوا منا باش نديروا السنتنس هادو نعاودوهم الريبورتد سبيتش. بعتونا هما دايركت سبيتش بيقولوا لنا عاودوهم في reported speech. Of course قال لك change the pronoun and time expressions where necessary. Of course tenses as well. We can change the tense. هنا قال لك ركز على pronoun ولا time expression ولا tense, يعني whatever you have. Okay. First example, I have forgotten to bring my lunch with me. He said that I have forgotten to bring my lunch with me. The first thing we have to see, what is the tense using in here. So if we have forgotten, this is present perfect. And present perfect is have plus verb in the past participle. So forget, this is the verb, and forgotten, this is the past participle of the verb. Okay, so if you want to report this, it becomes he said that he had forgotten to bring his lunch with him. So in here, as we said in the lesson, from the present perfect to the past perfect, one tense in back. Okay, he said that he had forgotten to bring his lunch with him. So here we changed first the pronoun, then the tense from the present perfect to the past perfect, and then we used we changed my to his and me to him. So here it shouldn't be like we should keep this now, keep this my here. No. So here as we are talking about him, so he said that he and him. Okay. Will you be home soon? She asked her husband. This is a question and it has well in here, so it's a model. You need to change well and the pronoun and yes. She asked her husband if he would be home soon. So here we answered or we reported without interrogative. So we didn't use the WH question or the the model because we replied by another way without interrogative. We used if, or we can use whether. She asked her husband if he would, or her husband whether he would. So we changed the model to would, and of course the pronoun from you to he. go to bed. Father said to children. So this is a request. Go to bed. You know, واحد الأب قال لولاده باش يمشيو ينسوا. So to change this or to report this, it becomes father told the children, you know, to go to bed. You know, memorize, you know, carefully. You know, for to report a request, you just need to add to, and this is the easy one. I will clean the car tomorrow, he said to his father. I will clean, you know, the car tomorrow. This is a future, so we have a model in here, the pronoun, and yes. So let's see how it is, you know, reported. He told his father that he would clean, sorry, this is a mistake in here, but it is clean the car the following day. Okay, so he, you know, he said to his father that he, from I to he, and then we changed will to would, and of course we have a time expression in here, which is tomorrow. Then you need to change it to the following day, as we have seen, you know, previously. Okay, so thank you very much, you know, for your watch. I hope it was a useful lesson. You know, actually, you know, reported speech can be really difficult and confusing, but if you can remember my easy ways to get this down, you're going to have no problem reporting what somebody has told you. Take care and report carefully. Assalamu alaikum.